Welcome back to part 2 filled with love, pain, and hidden secrets. This is part 2. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get started.
Bringing her breakfast, G tells her that she wants to leave the school because she can't handle what's happening to her. She admits that she doesn't know how to deal with the students who harass her, especially since she promised not to cause any trouble. Her aunt tells her that she doesn't have to put up with the bullying in silence. She can stand up for herself without overreacting. Later, G goes out to buy some medicine, but suddenly, a group of her classmates appears in front of her. They try to grab her and force her to go with them, but G breaks free and unexpectedly finds herself in Kiefer's arms. He had been standing behind her the whole time. Kiefer tells her that her classmates were only trying to bring her to him. They sit together at a cafe, and G asks him what he wants from her. Instead of answering, Kiefer takes out a bandage and carefully places it over her injury. After that, he orders her some ice cream. G asks him if this is his way of bribing her into forgetting what he did to her. Kiefer responds by admitting that he isn't good at apologizing, but he knows that all girls love ice cream. However, G refuses to accept his gesture and walks away. But after a few steps, she turns back, grabs the ice cream, and continues on her way. The next day, G is at school and enters the bathroom. Shortly after, a group of girls follows her inside. They start talking about what happened in the gym, and one of them, named Freya, speaks badly about Ella. She calls her an untrustworthy girl, mentioning that she used to be with Kiefer, but then left him to date Iris instead. As they continue talking, Freya notices that their classmate, Mika, is unusually silent and not engaging in the conversation. When Freya asks her why she's so quiet, Mika responds by saying that she thinks Ella is actually a good person and not as bad as Freya claims. Freya doesn't like Mika's response at all, but she quickly shifts the topic to G. She questions why the boys are paying attention to her, saying that she sees no reason for it, especially since G isn't even pretty. G, who had been listening to the entire conversation, gets furious when she hears Freya insulting her. She storms out of the bathroom, stands in front of Freya without saying a word, and splashes water on her. Then, G runs out, heading toward Section A. Freya and her friends immediately chase after her and catch up with her in front of Section A. At that moment, all the boys from Section A step outside to see what's happening. Additionally, Freya's male friends arrive at the scene, as well as Ella and Iris, who stand at a distance, watching the situation unfold. Freya, still humiliated, declares that G was bold enough to splash water on her and must be punished for it. However, Iris intervenes, telling Freya that G is his cousin. G, feeling victorious, stands confidently in front of Freya, assuming that Iris will defend her. But to her shock, Iris continues speaking and says that he won't defend G if she was in the wrong. Freya, now feeling smug, begins explaining the student hierarchy at their school to G. She tells her that the school is divided into 5 categories. The first category is Category A, which includes Freya, Ella, and the other elite girls standing before G. She also reveals that Iris is the leader of this category. Freya explains that Category A students are considered the best in the school, treated like kings and queens by the other students. The second category, Category B, consists of students slightly below them, who serve them in minor ways. The third category, Category C, is made up of students who are friendly and agreeable to everyone. Freya points out that Rocky, the girl who welcomed G when she accidentally entered the wrong class, is part of this group. Then, Freya moves on to Category D, which is made up entirely of boys. These boys act as enforcers for Category A students, ensuring that anyone who disrespects them is punished. Finally, Freya mentions Category E, which G already belongs to, reminding her that Category E students are the lowest-ranked students in the entire school, and no one cares about them. After finishing her explanation, Freya offers G a way out of punishment. She will forgive G only if she kneels and kisses her shoe. G, of course, refuses. Instead, she boldly tells everyone that she had been in the bathroom and overheard Freya talking badly about Ella. She also reveals that Freya insulted Ella behind her back and called her a disgrace. Freya panics because she knows that Iris will punish her for speaking badly about Ella. Desperate, she lies and denies ever saying anything bad about her. She then manipulates the situation by accusing Mika of being the one who spoke ill of Ella. The other girls who were with Freya support her lie, backing up her claim against Mika. Mika, horrified, tries to defend herself and insists to Iris that she never said anything against Ella. However, Iris ignores Mika's plea and orders the boys from Category D to punish her. The boys grab Mika and prepare to beat her in front of everyone. At that moment, a boy from Category E named Alex steps in. He attacks the Category D boys and successfully fends them off to protect Mika. It is revealed that Alex is Mika's ex-boyfriend. Now, the tension escalates. Iris and Kiefer stand face to face, with Iris determined to ensure Mika is punished while Kiefer opposes it. The situation explodes into a full-blown fight when Iris attacks Kiefer, hitting him violently. A massive brawl breaks out among all the students. Later, Yuri and Kiefer sit together, discussing what happened. Yuri points out that all their attempts to drive G out of the class have failed. He notes that instead, her classmates have started sympathizing with her and accepting her into their group. Kiefer smirks and tells Yuri that he has a new plan, one that will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He explains that he will make G fall for him, get her emotionally attached, and then cut her off completely, breaking her heart. This way, not only will he get rid of G, but he will also make Iris furious for what happened to his cousin. Yuri loves the plan and agrees to go along with it. Meanwhile, C runs up to Kiefer in a panic, telling him that G is in a fight with Category D boys in the gym. Kiefer rushes to the scene and arrives just in time to see G lying on the ground while one of the boys is about to strike her. Without hesitation, Kiefer grabs the boy and beats him up. Then, Kiefer and G stand side by side, facing off against the 3 remaining boys. They engage in a fierce battle, but manage to overpower their opponents. After the fight ends, both G and Kiefer collapse onto the ground from exhaustion. G thanks Kiefer for saving her. At that moment, C and Yuri enter the gym. Yuri approaches G and picks her up to take her to the infirmary. However, before doing so, he warns her that the school is going to investigate the fight. He then asks her to avoid mentioning Kiefer's involvement, because if Kiefer gets into another major incident, he might be permanently expelled from the school. G agrees and promises to keep his name out of it. The next day, heavy rain pours down, causing the school administration to dismiss students early. G calls Iris, asking him to pick her up, but when she leaves the school building and waits for him outside in the rain, he never shows up. As she stands there, Yuri spots her and offers her a ride home. G, having no other choice, gets into Yuri's car, and he drives her home. Noticing that G is cold, Yuri hands her his jacket so she can warm up. Soon after, G is surprised to find that Yuri is taking her to his house. He explains that the roads to her home are completely flooded, making it impossible to get there. He offers to let her stay at his place until the weather improves, and G reluctantly agrees. G is amazed by the grandeur of Yuri's house. It is incredibly luxurious. Yuri leads her to a room and tells her to change out of her wet clothes. He lets her know that she can borrow any of his clothes until the maid washes and dries hers. He then steps out, giving her privacy to change. A little while later, Yuri returns, and the two sit and chat. G asks him about his family, and he tells her that his parents live in Japan, where they manage their business. He reveals that he lives in this massive house with only his grandfather. Later, Yuri takes G to have lunch with his grandfather, who is surprised because this is the first time Yuri has ever brought a female friend home. As they talk, G impresses Yuri's grandfather with her kindness and polite demeanor. The next day at school, G thanks Yuri and jokes around with him as they walk to class. Kiefer is shocked when he sees Yuri laughing and playfully interacting with G. Curious, he pulls Yuri aside and asks him what happened the previous night. Yuri explains everything, and when he notices Kiefer getting irritated, he reassures him that this changes nothing about their plan. Everything will still go exactly as they planned. Soon after, Kiefer and G are summoned to the principal's office. When they arrive, the boys from Category D are there, claiming that Kiefer and G attacked them for no reason. G immediately tries to defend herself and Kiefer, but she notices that the principal doesn't believe her. This is because of Kiefer's long history of causing trouble. G is shocked when the principal places full blame on Kiefer for the incident. At that moment, G remembers what Yuri told her, that if Kiefer got involved in another serious problem, he might be expelled from school. Determined to protect him, G steps forward and tells the principal that she was the one responsible for everything. The principal, however, sees through her attempt to defend Kiefer and warns her that she herself could be expelled for taking the blame. G is stunned, but still insists that Kiefer had nothing to do with it. In response, the principal says she will call G's guardian. After they leave the office, Kiefer thanks G for what she did. A while later, Angelo arrives and takes G aside to speak with her privately. He yells at her for getting involved in trouble and reminds her that she promised not to cause any problems. G apologizes and promises not to make any more trouble. That night, Kiefer is at Yuri's house, along with their other male classmates. Kiefer discusses his plan with them, explaining how he will make G fall for him, only to break her heart and force her to leave the class. Yuri, however, seems unhappy about this plan, but he says nothing. The next day at school, G hears a noise coming from behind a garbage bin. When she approaches, she is surprised to find Mika hiding behind it. Mika is terrified because Iris has ordered the boys from Category D to chase her down and punish her, believing that she was the one who spoke badly about Ella. Fearing for her safety, she has been running away and hiding. G sympathizes with her and asks if any of her classmates tried to help her. Mika says that the only one who could have helped was Ella, but unfortunately she is absent today. G takes Mika to the bathroom, helps her clean up, and then decides to take her to Section A, hoping to protect her from the boys chasing her. However, when they arrive, Kiefer is visibly annoyed by Mika's presence and wants to throw her out of the classroom. G yells at him, saying that Mika needs help and reminds him that he once helped her before. Kiefer seizes this opportunity to start his plan and, with obvious romantic intent, tells G that he is willing to do anything for her. Yuri, watching from a distance, is unable to hide his jealousy. G, on the other hand, becomes flustered and doesn't know how to respond. At the end of the day, G walks with Mika to ensure that no one attacks her on her way home. As they walk, G asks Mika about her history with Alex. Mika sits with her and explains that she and Alex used to love each other. One day, Ella came to her and told her that she had seen Alex standing with another girl. Mika was shocked, but refused to believe it. However, later, she saw Alex getting close to another girl at the cafeteria, confirming Ella's words. From that moment on, she cut ties with Alex completely. Mika tells G that since then, Alex has been trying to apologize and make amends, hoping to get back together with her, but she has refused to give him another chance. She then asks G if Alex deserves a second chance. G looks at Alex, noticing the regret on his face, and tells Mika to think carefully before making her decision. G then walks Mika home. Later that night, G confronts Iris about how he treated Mika, telling him that what he did was wrong. She insists that Mika never said anything bad about Ella. As they talk, Ella walks in and is visibly upset after learning what Iris did to Mika. Iris follows her, trying to make amends. The next day, Ella approaches G and thanks her for standing up for Mika. She tells G that she spoke with Iris and made him promise to leave Mika alone. However, Ella also asks G to keep Alex away from Mika because she is afraid that Alex might hurt Mika again. G refuses, saying that she has no right to interfere in Mika and Alex's relationship. It is up to them to decide their own future. After a while, G is surprised when a student from Section A presents Mika with flowers in front of their classmates and confesses his feelings for her, saying he has liked her for a long time but never had the courage to express it. G tells Mika to think carefully before responding, but Ella interrupts G, telling her to stay out of it. At that moment, Alex steps forward and, in front of everyone, tells Mika that he regrets everything he did to her and asks for a chance to talk to her privately. Meanwhile, Kiefer and Yuri are both focused on G, watching her closely because she seems deeply moved by the romantic scene unfolding before her. Mika responds to Alex, telling him that she is willing to give him another chance. The students in Section A celebrate happily. Later, G and Kiefer watch Mika and Alex from a distance as they meet. They see Alex screaming with joy because Mika has promised to consider getting back together with him. Kiefer takes advantage of the moment and tells G that he wishes he could experience a romantic moment like that with her. G gets flustered and doesn't know how to respond, so she leaves. G goes to the bathroom and notices that someone has written a lot of things on the door. An idea suddenly comes to her, and she immediately puts her plan into action. She goes to C and David and tells them that she placed her phone in the girls' bathroom, showing them a video she recorded. The footage captures Freya insulting Ella, giving G solid evidence against her. Later that day, when G returns home, she shows the video to Iris and demands that he punish Freya for what she did. However, G is shocked when Iris refuses, telling her that he knows she is just trying to use him to take revenge on Freya, and he won't allow that. He then walks away, leaving G feeling frustrated because her plan has failed. The next morning, G rides her bicycle to school when a boy in a car stops her to ask for directions. She gives him directions, and he thanks her before driving off. Just then, Yuri arrives and asks her about the boy. G tells him that he was just lost and needed help finding his way. They both continue on to school. At school, Mika approaches G and thanks her for helping her make the right decision. She hands G a letter and asks her to deliver it to Alex. G quickly takes the letter to him, and Alex sits among his classmates, opening it nervously while everyone watches, waiting to find out Mika's answer. Suddenly, Alex yells in excitement, announcing that Mika has agreed to get back together with him. Overjoyed, he hugs G and thanks her for being the reason this happened.